But wait a minute. We got a game. That's right. We got our first game of the season going up against, we didn't even look at the schedule, did we? I don't think we did. No. Seattle Sounders is our first game. Seattle's a pretty decent team. Where were they predicted to finish? I don't think we actually looked over Seattle in that preview. So let's take a look back at the preview. See where Seattle's at. Portland is up there in 6th. Seattle 10th. So that's okay. Take a look at them in depth. Last season, they finished 12th, so they're predicted to do a little bit better. Still got Ladero. Bruno Gama is their vice captain. Ladero, key player and captain. Jesse March, hanging on at head coach. How long has he been there? He's been there since 2020 now. He was coach of Montreal not too long ago, 2011, 2012. And was at the Red Bulls for quite a long time. So he's bounced around, but not a lot. He's only had three coaching gigs in, 10 years. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good track record here in MLS, to be honest with you. Take a look at their registration. Senior squad, they got 26 players on the roster, all 3 of their designated players, all 8 of their internationals. Still got $250,000 under the cap so they can make a move. There's Gama, designated player, 34-year-old Portuguese. Physically, falling down a little bit, but of course, mentally and technically still strong. Played with Seattle all season last year, got him in for $600,000 from Austria. Played pretty well, 34 games, 5 goals, 12 assists, 7.06 rating. So he's definitely lived up to the hype as, one of their better players. So we'll see what Seattle has for us. Let's get here. Let's go with formation number 2. Played it all preseason. Going to see if the league has caught up to formation number 2 or not. Switching back and forth between formations, I think, kept the league on their toes a little bit. We saw it at the end of the season when we switched it up. We were able to go on a little winning streak, and then we switched it up again in the playoffs, went on another winning streak in the playoffs, and then for the MLS Cup, went back to formation number 2, so it was pretty good. Here's our homegrown players, Ortiz, Chevalier, Mendy, and Brune. Still only 20 years old for Chevalier and Mendy. Seems like they've been with the team forever. Montreal. We get Vancouver in the Canadian Championships. Of course we do. In the semifinal. So let's go. It's going to be a tough matchup. But today, we're worried about Seattle. Here's the transfer activity. Yeah. We looked at all this. Yes, we looked at all this. We don't need this. Now, I was going to look at the coaching changes, but I keep forgetting that the coaching change thing is bugged. So we go to the season preview. You can see here Colin Clark and Josh Wolf, new coaches in LA, the 2 various LA teams. But then when we click on new coaches, bugged. Doesn't show anything, even though we know that there have been other coaching changes. But anyway, here we are. Montreal versus Seattle match preview. Let's get to it. 5-4 favorites. We've won 3 of the last 5. They've won 1 with 1 draw in the last 5. So we've been able to beat Seattle pretty good. Let's get to our team selection. Playing it at home at Saputo Stadium so we can see our new stadium, or is our construction still going on? I didn't double check. I think our construction is still going on. Yeah. March 4th. So we got about a month until the ground is ready. So we're going to have a little bit of construction in the background, but that's fine. Gives it a little bit of character. So here's the lineup, but we got an issue. Or is it an issue? I don't know. Joseph Mendez is out. He is injured, and injured but good. on the disabled list, so he's out for at least 6 games, but he was injured, he could be out for a few months. The prognosis wasn't good. Hip injury, 8 weeks to 3 months. So that sort of clears up our striker situation, our target man situation. We got a new man, brought him in, but I was going to start Mendez and make these guys work for it. But now that, it's cleared up, it's cleared itself up, so we can bring Boyce in for Mendez and not have any, problem. Nobody's going to be saying, hey, what about playing time? I'm supposed to be a starter. Well, forget that, buddy. You're injured. So Boyce is in. And if Boyce doesn't contribute, we still have Johnson sitting on the bench. We can bring him in. We know what he can do. So speaking of the bench, we do have Johnson on the bench. Got number 1 draft pick Valenzuela, or first round draft pick Valenzuela. Mane, Agor, Basic, Valo, and Giasante, 17-year-old academy player. He's going to be our reserve keeper. I don't know if that's quite exactly what I wanted. Who's our other keeper? Our other keeper is Montero. Montero's 20 years old. I think we should probably put Montero in there. I don't know. He's got 15 reflexes, 15 handling. 17 years old. I mean, he's just going to be here training anyway. But, we will put Montero on the bench. He's got a little bit more experience. He's a homegrown player. So we'll keep him there. But yeah, so it's a pretty good bench, pretty deep bench. Maybe not at keeper. We got 2 youngsters backing us up at keeper. But other than that, we got some very strong veteran players on the bench and even more sitting out. So this team is very strong, very stacked. You'll notice that one of the top players in the league, Alberto, isn't even on the bench right now. That's how strong we are. Maybe that's a mistake, but, we're using these early season games to experiment a little bit. Because we had such a weak preseason, it was kind of hard to gauge these guys. Gauge who was going to be the best player this season. So maybe that's a little bit of a mistake on my part. But here we go. Formation number 2. Of course, Thiago in goal. Dasovic on the left. Duverne on the right, making his big comeback after his season-ending injury last season. Of course, Jaguar and Chevalier at central defense. Andre and Eric Lopez in the midfield. Those 2 young players have really... their stock is really on the rise. Petrasso on the left, D'Alessandro on the right. New man Boyce making his debut. And then, of course, Kyle Larin up top. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they've got Bond in goal. Mafla at left back. Leardom, right back. Schoberg and Martinez. J. Martinez Galata. 21-year-old Argentinian. Got him for $5.75 million last season. I don't remember that. Mid-season. Only played 9 games for him. So we'll see how he changes their fortunes. That's an interesting pickup right there. Wolf Ekram Donner. Not familiar with Donner either. 24-year-old American. Super draft player. Yep. From Minnesota in 2018. Traded a couple of times, so he's sort of a journeyman type player. Starting in the midfield for him. Castro making his debut. Lodero, Gama, and Estupiñán up top. So they've still got a strong attack. Their midfield maybe a little questionable, but defense is strong. I don't know much about their goalkeeper either. Jonathan Bond, 28-year-old Englishman. Came over from Watford / Reading / Peterborough. So he bounced around in the Sky Bet leagues before coming over to Vancouver and then Seattle. So he's another journeyman. Hasn't played a ton of games in his career. Did play 34 games last season. Allowed 52 goals. 7 shutouts. So he had an okay season for them last year, but I don't know if he's the greatest goalkeeper we've ever seen. But anyway, let's go. Let's get to the dressing room. Hand over to the assistant. Always good. First pep talk of the year. Hand it over to the assistant. Wilfred still there, still giving solid advice. Let's close down on these guys. We know we got to close down on Ladero and Gamma. We know that Leardham's going to come forward. Played against that guy many times. He's going to try to sneak in, make some plays from that fullback position, so we got to watch him. And let's go. First game of the season, journalist. Yeah, Jeremy Lanny wonders about Carlos Alberto. You left him out. Is that due to his recent injury problem? Did he have a recent injury problem? Not that I can recall. Nah, he's just being rested. First game of the season, he needs a rest. So here we are. So this must be where the construction's going on, that dark void in the corner. So we're down to sort of half a grandstand there, the north end zone. Is that the north end zone? I don't know. I'm just saying. Is the stadium laid out north-south? I don't know. Probably not. Think about it. You wouldn't lay a stadium out east-west, because then you'd have the sun in the eyes of the players as they're going towards the goal. So you would lay a stadium out north-south, right? Is that correct? Because then the sun is in the eyes of the fans, and that's not terrible, because then you can put a roof over it and you're fine. So is that how it works? Probably. They got an injury right off the bat. Schoberg. Potential head injury in the 11th minute. He can walk that off. No problem. 20 minutes, not much going on. What are we on here? We're on probably key highlights. Let's go to extended highlights. See if we can take a look at the team. It's early season. We need to see this team, see how they're performing. Here we go. 26 minutes in. Here's our first highlight. Gama intercepted by Jaguar. Teamed with Andre to get it back to Thiago. There's our new man, Boyce, wearing the number 20. Gets it forward to Laren. He's on the run. He chips it, but Bond is there to make the save. Little sneaky attempt there. Corner, Petrasso sends it in. Chevalier can't get there, and here's Mafla on the run for Seattle. Gets it to their main man, Ladero. Let's get organized on defense there, boys. We were a little tangled up there for a minute. Looks like looks like Seattle slow playing a little bit. Castro sends it in. Jaguar is there. Lopez is going to gather that in. And there we go. Seattle's looking a little tired already. Ladero and Wolf Ekram are a little tired. They've already subbed out Schoberg for Ford. Who's this fella? 26-year-old American. Oh, here we go. Highlight. Lopez tries to send in a kick, but it doesn't work. Jaguar has to pick it up. Petrasso going to go out wide with it. Cross is deflected, but Bond is there. Good traveling section there for Seattle. Lots of green in the end zone there. Highlight continues, though. Lopez gets it for Laren. Chucks it ahead for D'Alessandro. Still has that speed. He's got the big man in the box. Can't get it to him. Gulata already with a yellow card. Sends it out for Duverne. Duverne gives us a little bit more of a playmaking ability at that fullback. He likes to come forward a little bit. Good plays in the middle. Oof. Got some good teamwork starting out the season. I like this. You know, those are some really crisp passes. Petrasso maybe didn't make the best effort. Wolf Eichram just over the crossbar. Free kick there. So far, I think we're looking okay. We seem to be controlling the match, at least as far as, we normally do. We're getting most of the shots. Most of the action is taking on in Seattle's zone, so that's good. Even though they do have 55% of the possession, but they are a possession team. Lopez heads it out. Wolf Eikram takes a shot. Ford. Oh, what was that? He had an open goal, and he just shanked it. He hooked it out of bounds. 2 minutes of added time. Eikram is dying tired out there. Let's see if this highlight goes anywhere. Oscar down the middle. Drops it back to Lodero. 30 seconds to go. Wolf Eikram back to Oscar. Is he looking out wide? He is covered well. Tries to get ahead. Oof, Thiago has to make the stop. There's our man Chevalier, not the tightest marking central defender in the world. Let him slip by him. You know, that's why we try to send Chevalier forward a little bit as a stopper and drop Jaguar back a little bit as a defender because Jaguar's better at marking. But didn't quite work on that situation. All right, halftime. Looking okay, 5-5 in terms of shots. They got 3 on target. We got 1. A lot of fouls in this game. 9 for them, 7 for us. They got the yellow card. Is there anything tactically we want to do? I mean, we haven't changed instructions very much. We can try working the ball in the box. See if that gets us any better shot concentration. Pep talk. Time for everyone to dig in. Let's do it. Here we go. Second half. I don't know what happened to the graphics for the construction. Like, they used to show the construction graphics where they would have, like, you know, big piles of dirt and, like, you know, cranes and stuff in the background. Now they just got a big black void. I don't know what that's all about. Here's Kyle Aaron. Gets it to Boyce. Boyce out to Petrasso. Back to Boyce. Intercepted. Oscar's going to start the counterattack for Seattle. Gets it up to Villalobos. Interesting. Oh, there's Jaguar. Great play. Jaguar at midfield. Gets it to Boyce. He's got Petrasso or Laren. Laren can't beat his man, but there's Jaguar again. Should have got that out wide to Petrasso. But Boyce not quite in tune with his teammates yet. He's only played a few games in the preseason because, you know, the foreign transfer window opens a little bit late in preseason. Opens like, you know, half a month really into preseason. Like, opens on the 12th or the 13th. So they don't quite have a full training camp or preseason to get acclimated to their new teams. Same thing happens like in the summertime, right? You come in 6 months into the season, and you got less than half the season to go when you come in the summer transfer. So, like, you've seen a lot of those players that we saw only played 9 or 10 games for their season or for their teams last season. Villalobos with a header. Thiago makes the save. 70 minutes in. Let's do some analysis here. Everybody's just sort of playing okay. Desovic is having a good game. Andre maybe not so much. He's a little tired anyway. Do we want to bring in some other people? I don't know. Do we want to change our formation? Can give that a try. Let's pause it up. Go to tactics. Go back to the Z formation. Kyle Laren up top, of course. Make him the advanced forward. Move Lopez up. and bring in Igor as the deep lying playmaker. Yes? Yeah. Sure, why not? So this is like, you know, this is similar to the team that made the run, other than Petrasso on the left. This is basically the team that made the playoff run for us. Oh, and DeVern, of course, back from injury. So we'll give that a shot for the last 20 minutes of the game. See if we can generate something. Petrasso. Andre's got an injury. I did not realize that. He didn't mention it. He hasn't complained about it. Here's Galata with a steal to Wolf Ekram. Gama. Let's see who this highlight goes to. Bennett, Mafla. Here's Seattle trying to work it downfield. Turnover by Petrasso. Gets it to Boyce. Back to Petrasso. Could have done that a few minutes ago. That would have worked out better. Andre, Lopez, Kyle Laren intercepted. Oh, D'Alessandro all alone. Nice goal. We're going to keep our changes, though, because, honestly, the other formation is a better defensive formation anyway. It's not a great defensive formation, but it's better than the 4-2-4. So here we go. Just some nice buildup of play. Now that we're working it into the box, Laren tackled, but they forgot all about D'Alessandro, and there's his patented sort of cross-goal kick. He scored several goals that way. We are going to continue with the changes. It says Andre's injured. That must be why his condition's a little low, but he doesn't actually have an injury. He's just a little banged up, I guess. Petrasso wins the ball. Back to Thiago. Slow playing a bit until Chevalier puts the boot to it. Kyle Laren. He's got D'Alessandro again. Where is Kyle Laren going? He's just doing his own thing. Sends it across. Lopez. Not really his forte, getting forward and heading the ball. But, he did get it on frame. Now he's going to take the corner. Drops it back to Petrasso. Petrasso centers to Laren. Is he going to boot it? Nope. Gets it to Igor. Igor's going to take that shot. He likes that shot. I forgot my water. Usually I like to have a drink of water during these commentaries. But anyway, Petrasso to Ford. 75 minutes. Just going to bang it downfield. Igor's going to reset the offense. We got another highlight here. Tried to get it to D'Alessandro. Igor's going to continue to chase it down. There's D'Alessandro. They are not marking him very well. He's got Kyle Laren. A little bit offsides. Oh, he can't win the header over Bond. That was an interesting challenge right there. Looks like Seattle's got 2 injuries. Are they down to 10 men? It's hard to tell. Our midfield defense is looking solid, though. Villalobos gets past it, but he can't do much with it. Do you see that line of defenders? Everybody was just sort of back. Yeah, Wolf Ekram. Schoberg is out. Thiago, what are you doing? Again, he's doing that sweeper keeper thing he sometimes does at the beginning of seasons. I'm not happy about that, but... Bennett rushing down the field. Duvern misses a risky tackle. Igor trying to make up for it. Villalobos gets a head on it, but it goes wide. Duvern, that is one thing that we don't miss about him, is those risky tackles. Yeah, they've used their 3rd substitute. They are down to 9 men? 2, 3, 4. It's hard to tell. Hard to count. Duvern to Lopez. 85 minutes. The clock is going really slow. D'Alessandro drops it to Andre with a shot. Ooh, that almost took Bond off guard there. He had to just swat that away. Petrasso again with the corner. He's been taking a lot of these corners, if not all of them. I think Igor's a decent corner man. Jaguar gets his head down. Can't get it to Andre. But we're going to reset the offense. There we go. All right. They keep shuffling their lineup around. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing here. But Bennett keeps moving all around the field from right midfield to left midfield. Yeah, they're down. Yeah. Yeah. They're definitely down a man. They've shifted him back to the middle. So they're just trying to figure things out at the moment tactically. So we're just controlling the ball. Agor off his own man. 5 minutes of stoppage time. We just controlled the second half thanks to injuries. Speaking of injuries, probably should have taken Andre out of there, but didn't have a ton of options on the bench for Andre. Here's Gama. Thiago stops that easily. Seattle fans are sitting on their hands right now, grabbing their faces, complaining. Can't blame them, really. To lose 2 men in a match, it's pretty tough business to injuries. Here's Jaguar getting ready for the kick. 15 seconds left, or 15 seconds, 45 seconds left, let's put it that way. 30 seconds to go. This should be a 1-0 victory. Not the fanciest victory you've ever seen, but a pretty solid one, hopefully. This is an extra long highlight. There's been a lot of extra long highlights in this game. I'm not sure. It's like going back to the beginning of the game. Every time they launch a new game, their highlights are ridiculously long. Here's Lopez getting forward again. Sends it across. Nobody really paying attention to that centering pass, but there we go. Full time. Start off the season well, a dominant win over a Western Conference team. I mean, injuries help. Look at Wolf Eichram limping around the field at 50%. Just, playing his guts out there because Schoberg and Estupinian were both injured early in the game. So, yeah, they were behind the 8 ball a little bit, and we took advantage of it. Player of the match, D'Alessandro, 8.3 ratings and the lone goal. Lopez played well with the assist, 7.5 rating. Defensively, played very well. Desovic, Jaguar, Chevalier. Duvern's the only one who struggled a little bit back there. It's been an entire year since he's played, so you can't blame him too much. There we go. Good victory. I wanted to cut this short, but it didn't quite work out that way because I went to extended highlights. I should have thought about that. But anyway, you played well. Oops, why can't I negged him? I didn't mean to do that. D'Alessandro, calm. Proud of you with the goal and the way you played. He's confused now. Petrasso, assertive. You did well out there. He's very confused. All right, let's get out of here before we do any more damage. All right, so there we go. The season preview well underway. Look at that. Top of the charts. 3 points. 3 points. We're dominating the competition. We're shutting out the entire league currently. Competitions. Top of the supporters shield. Look at that. Yeah. All right. Schedule. Another West Coast swing, I should say. LAFC, Minnesota, Houston, Real Salt Lake, Vancouver. Then we start a little bit of the Eastern Conference. A lot of the Eastern Conference. So, I think I want to play a little bit. I want to get a feel for things. See how we're doing. So I might come back for Houston. Definitely come back for Vancouver. We got to see what they're all about. So, yeah, we'll play a few games, get a feel for things, and then come back next time. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.